You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people.
Okay, so hey guys, this is what's currently going on. We've washed it. I've been gravel tracking a little bit. Here's some gravel. I've been fishing it out.
If we can borrow a spindle from the other side, from them, just borrow.
Hey guys, Kate of the future joining you. I just wanted to point out these little clips that are just about to follow of me sticking my phone down in the airbox. We did, as you'll see in the next clip, we did take the airbox completely apart, but it was, we wondered whether we'd be able to see without having to take everything apart, but we couldn't, but I thought you'd just be interested. And I also would like to point out that for some reason, Kate that films the vlogs seems to think that she makes total sense all the time, even though I'm not sure I do. I hope you can follow, but yeah, I obviously think I make sense. Bye guys.
Phone. Just take
Well,
before you start.
Drop your phone. You're not going to drop your whole phone down that hole, Mum.
Take that pot. Nothing on that. Take loads of pictures.
No, it's on a video. Alright, you need a torch as well, please.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me angle that and then sit it there.
Okay, and then I'll ram this in. I don't think it's too fast. That needs to go beside the phone, doesn't it?
Can you see all the way down to the throttle butterflies there? No.
No.
Seen to tubes, but it's
Seen to tubes and they're clean.
But it's up as well, isn't it?
Hey guys, so I haven't updated you very much over the last couple of days because it's been manic. So we started out the testing on a Thursday morning. I went out in the wet on a obviously new circuit. I did about 4 laps and then coming into the first corner, I got a bit confused with where I was. I ran tight, ran on the white line and then crashed. The bike went into the gravel, which obviously has done quite a lot of paint damage, which is a wee bit annoying, but not much I can do about it. So then we got out and did some more testing later in the day when it got dry, because it took us quite a while to get everything back sorted. That went well. I was doing like 108, something like that. And then we went out for free practice yesterday morning, and I went a little bit faster, and then we went out for qualifying yesterday, and I took about 5 seconds off. I did about 103, which was really good. I was feeling a lot more confident. I got to myself to a point where I didn't really know where I could go faster though, that I felt like I was like hitting a bit of a wall. So I had a chat with Coops, see what he thought I could do, and we looked at my sectors to see where I was losing the most time, and then today I went out in race 1 and I've done a 102, so I've gone a little bit faster again. Sorry about this moped. There's quite a lot of people riding mopeds around all hours at the minute. Yeah, it's. I think it's only about 9 o'clock though, to be fair. I am still sat in my leathers. But yeah, so I'll go back to where I was. Sorry, I'm sidetracking. We went out in the race today. I got off to a pretty good start. I was running in about P12. I was in heat race 2. No, I was in heat race 1. I was running about P12. And then I had a tangle with another rider, which like caused me to go on the curb. And as I tried to like yield for him, I lost the front on the curb because it was a bit slippery. And then both of us went down. Both of us got up and walked away. That's why I'm wearing my new suit. I am currently trying to like stretch it in a little bit because it's literally never even been out of the bag till today. But the other one's looking a bit worse for wear. So I can't go out on telly tomorrow looking like that. So I've given it back to Wise, and they are going to, or Vice, and they are going to spruce it up again, make it look back like this one. Obviously, actually, you can't see my suit. So this is my suit because I've got my gilet on because it's gone quite cold here. Yeah, I'm just sat in the awning. The bike's away in the truck now. We've spent basically most of the day repairing it from the crash. I'm not too bad. I'm alright. I've got a bruised elbow. That seems about it. But it has put me in the last chance qualifier rather than in the main race like I wanted to be. So the top 13 from each race went into the main race and the rest of the people went in the last chance qualifier. Obviously, I didn't finish the race, so I didn't get through, so I'm in the last chance qualifier. And the way they've done the grids, they've done like they did for the heat races, one from one class, one from another one. So I've ended up last on the grid. They've not done it off lap times like I thought they would. But yeah, so I've ended up last on the grid for tomorrow for the last chance qualifier. I think I have to finish 5th or above to get into the main race, which is obviously my aim. I want to be in the main race. That's my aim. That's what we've come for. But yeah, Coop's had a good day. I think he qualified first and then was first in the heat race. But yeah, it's been eventful. I have still enjoyed it. I'm a little bit disappointed with obviously having crashed twice. Second one, a little bit unavoidable. There's not much I could have done in the situation. The first one was just a silly mistake that I made. I know not to ride over white lines. I know they're slippery, but I just turned in a bit tight for where I was and ran over it. Yeah, I can't say I'm not trying. Otherwise, I wouldn't keep ended up on my arse. But yeah, so the aim for tomorrow is go out in the race, finish the race for a start, and also I'd like to be in the top 5 so I can get into the main race. That's like my aim. Yeah, I'm quite tired to be fair. You can probably tell from all this. But yeah, so we're only out at 10:10 tomorrow, so it's not that early. So I might have a little bit of a lie-in. Because I didn't have a lie-in this morning, but I went to bed. We filmed a podcast last night. We were filming till I think about like 10:10. With Off Track, Dave from Off Track. Sorry, I've just eaten a beef and onion sandwich, and it's giving me the burps. But yeah, so we filmed a podcast last night, me and all the girls, and Faye and Maria. So I didn't get into bed that early last night, but I'm quite tired now. I don't think there's much else to update you on. I might do a little bit about like how things differ at BSB to at club racing, in case anybody wanted to know that, because like that's the main thing we've been learning this weekend, or how everything works. Because it's not very different, but there's quite a lot of like different little rules, like the tyre stickers and the fuel and everything. So I might go on a bit more about that later. But I think I'm gonna get into bed now. So, bye guys. Morning guys. We are all ready to go this morning. We've been down scrutineering with the bike and my leathers. My leathers are hung up again now. They're just hung up by the arms because they're a new set. They still need stretching in. I've not worn them on the track. I wore them for a couple of hours last night. But yeah, they're charging and stretching, or stretching a little bit. Just hanging their weight on the arms. But yeah, I think we're pretty much all ready now. Last chance qualifier is at 10 or 10:15. So there's 16 people on the grid. I have to start last because I did not finish with the last name Walker. So yeah, I've got a fair few places to make up to try and get into the main race. We haven't got a confirmation from anybody how many people go through from the last chance qualifier, so we don't know whether they're going to do a full grid of 40 in the main race or whether they are going to stick to the 5 or 6 people go through from the last chance qualifier or not. So yeah, we're kind of not sure yet how that's going to work. But yeah, I'm just going to be racing to be as high up as I can, and try and improve my lap times again more today, because like that's the main goal really, to just improve upon myself. Even if we don't get through, I just want to improve upon myself, improve upon what I've done already this weekend. Because I know I've crashed, but I got myself down into the 102s. I felt like I could go faster if I was just had a little bit more room. So yeah, that's the aim for today. I'll see you all in a little bit. Bye guys. Hey guys, I'm hoping you'll be able to hear me over the superbikes. We are at the end of the weekend now, so I qualified in the last chance qualifier to go through into the main race. I went from 16th at the back of the grid to 6th. I was right behind the 2 people in front of me, but they were like quite tangly in their racing. And I knew I just needed to finish to get into the main race, so I didn't bother. I didn't bother trying to I made one attempt to try and overtake them, and they came back with a couple of harsh overtakes, and I thought, right, I'll leave that. I'll just go out in the. I'll just keep riding behind them, get my 6th, go out in the main race. So that's what I did. In the main race, they put me 32nd because the last chance qualified people go on the back of the grid that's already started or already there. So yeah, and then I went from 32nd to, I think Mum said I was 25th in the race. I didn't manage to get much faster, but the group I was in was like constantly changing. So like you would overtake 1 or 2 people, and then very quickly somebody would come from the back of the group up the inside of everybody. So yeah, the racing is very different to what I expected based off like what I've been used to. What I've been used to was a lot more gentlemanly. The last chance qualifier, obviously there was only 16 of us. I started on the back of the grid. So there was nobody behind me to make me feel the pressure of you have to set off, otherwise you're going to get run over. And also there wasn't very many of us going into the first corner, whereas when we got in the main race, I think there was 42 of us going into the first corner, which the first corner wasn't actually that tight. The second corner, maggots, and into whatever's after it, the right-hander, that was a lot tighter because it bottlenecks quite quickly there. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, to be fair, but I need to get a bit more feisty with my racing. Need to not let them push me about quite as much because they are just sort of like pushing on your team where you can go. We've got some new brake pads to try next round because the standard ones are causing a bit much heat. But yeah, I think everything's going pretty well. The truck's all packed, as you can see, it's behind me. we're staying to have tea and to watch the next race. That was the Superbike race that was just out. We're staying to watch the Junior Supersport. We're going to have tea and then we're going to go home. So yeah, that kind of wraps up Silverstone for us. I still would like to do a little bit when I get home about like the rules that we've learned when we got here. So I'll do that for you when I get home, but that's basically a wrap for Silverstone. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next round. Bye guys! Hey guys, so I mentioned that I was going to do a little bit of like what we'd learn at BSB. So I've written myself a little list of a few things I just wanted to mention I thought you might find interesting. So very quickly on Friday we learned that the gate times to arrive by are very strict. If you're not there by the allocated time, you have to wait in a holding car park overnight and move into the circuit in the morning. So at Silverstone we had to wait outside the museum, we had to camp outside the museum. Like everybody got put in a holding car park and then they allowed us to move in the morning. They park you. So as you arrive, there's somebody there, they take you down. So if you're a living vehicle or a working vehicle, they take you down, they give you a parking space, they tell you this is where you are. So they did that from the holding car park as well. So it was kind of like waiting for everybody to get out of the car park. So they also do riders briefings at BSB, which some club level like places have stopped doing, but they do briefings, so it's within your class. So Steve Player does ours, and then for the first round all the officials came down, talked through different flags, different rules that are different at BSB than they are anywhere else. Signing on, you sign on once for the season as long as you're over 18. If you're under 18, you and a parent have to go every round. But if you're over 18, you do an online sign on at the start of the season and that's it. Scrutineering, pretty much the same, except there's a time slot for you to go. So in your final instructions that most club level clubs send out anyway, but in your final instructions that you get before the round, with all the times in, the ticket codes and all that, there's a time slot for your class to go to scrutineering. I don't know what happens if you miss it. Didn't test that. But it's like a 45-minute window. Your tyre allocations. A lot of people will know there's a tyre allocation for each class at BSB. We are in the BMW Cup 4 tyres. You get your stickers from briefing. You have to get your tyres from Pirelli at BSB. The stickers go on the right hand side of the tyres. What else was I going to say? So the 4 tyres for our class means that you can choose front rear. Some classes are 2 front, 2 rear. In our class as well, if you get into the last chance qualifier race, you get 1 extra rear tyre. That's something else. There's paddock plans in the final instructions as well, so you'll know kind of where you're going to be parked before they park you. But obviously they'll ask what class you're in and then they'll park you. And then also, the reason everybody has lorries at BSB, I just thought I'd point this out, will make life easier. We don't personally have a lorry. Peter has a van and we have the camper van, which means we have 1 living vehicle and 1 working vehicle. So the paddock plans show you, but your working vehicle stays with your awning, which is in your allocated our BMW space, and then your living vehicle goes with all of the living vehicles, which often is the furthest part of the car park away. You know, the bit that nobody wants to park their bikes on. That's usually where all the living vehicles go. So if you had just one, a truck with your living and your bike and everything in one, then you wouldn't have that issue. You wouldn't have to keep walking back and forward all the time. So yeah, I just thought you'd like to know that's why everybody has lorries at BSB. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, I'll just run you quickly through the start procedures. So there's 2 different kinds. One's a quick start and one's one's just called a quick start, and one's called a race start. I don't know what the longer one's called. Anyway, so whatever it's called, the longer one. So the longer one allows time for people to get on the grid with you, and put your tyre warmers and your stands on. In our class, there's no generators on the grid. There is also no trolleys on the grid in our class. But that sort of just depends what type of trolley it is. So like the aluminium fold-it carts that everybody's got, Luke wasn't allowed to take that on the grid. He had to just dump that at the gate and then run on with the tyre warmers. But there was somebody with like a wheel stand trolley that they took on the grid. So I don't know quite like the what they will allow and what they won't. But like that was just our experience of kind of the smaller stuff was allowed and the bigger stuff wasn't. Our longer race start wasn't long enough to need to put the tyre warmers on really. We just put the socks on because by the time Peter had got out with the stands, they were pretty much kicking us off the grid anyway. So we just had the socks, like the blankets that were already warm from being on the tyre warmers all day. We just had them over. And then the quick start procedure, somebody comes out onto the grid from your team and stands on your allocated spot, and then you drive up to them, and then once you've driven up to them, they leave, and then the start's like pretty much straight after. There's no like waiting around, putting tyre warmers on, anything like that. It's a lot faster. But yeah, there probably will be more of these like little, this is what we learnt this weekend, as we go along, because like this is the kind of thing that I would have liked to have known. So yeah, hopefully it helps you all. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Bye guys.